Welcome to the OT. I'm Elise Jesse. It's Wild Card Weekend, and the Cincinnati Bengals are once again hosting the Baltimore Ravens right here at Paycor Stadium. This game going down on Sunday night. They expect it to be loud. They expect it to be energetic and raucous, and they're going to need that with the Baltimore Ravens coming into town. 6 of their starters were able to rest last week, so they are coming in fresh, and it's just a unique situation for this team because two teams going back-to-back and facing each other 2 weeks in a row has only happened 17 times since the merger. This Sunday night's game will be the 17th time, and I was able to ask Joe Mixon about just the challenge of trying to prepare for a team that they just faced a week ago.
You know what everybody gives us. At the end of the day, we just got to put it all together for 4 quarters, and as a collective group, we got to be hitting on all cylinders, firing all cylinders, and everything else is going to take care of itself.
Joe, BJ said this team is like a fine wine. It's matured, it gets better each game. How have you guys, BJ said that?
BJ said what?
You guys are like a fine wine, this team. It gets better with age. How have you guys, I think, grown, consistently each game since last year this time?
I mean, pretty much I think it's mainly with experience, being with each other for 2 years and just knowing what your teammate is going to do. Everybody's going to go hard and try to do whatever they can to win a battle across from them. So everybody tend to lean on their teammates and knowing everybody going to be in the right position at the right time. And, the one-on-one battles is always crucial around here. But, when you got the team involved in every, run that they do or, the defense swarming when they throw a pass and guys stripping at the ball, punching at the ball, whatever it is, it's infectious. And, when they get them turnovers, they do their little celebrations. It's like that's a great thing to see. That's what the fans come to see. And to be real, I love seeing it, being on offense. They're giving us more opportunities. So, I don't think that'll ever change for them. They're going to keep being them, and we're going to keep giving them opportunities to give us the ball back. So we just got to keep playing complimentary football for 4 quarters, and at this point it's win or go home. So we just got to put our best foot forward.
Joe, what kind of unique challenge are you guys facing, knowing that you're facing the same team twice in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's a unique challenge. I more so put it as you got to be out. What are you going to do to learn from last week and to become successful this week and be able to master, the little things. And I feel like you master the little things, being with each other and learning from the film. I think that's the biggest difference. This week we can't leave nothing out there because it's playoffs. So you got to put the best foot forward now. And I think that everybody's ready to seize the opportunity. It's going to be a bright spot, but as I told them earlier, like we shine the brightest under the brightest light. So just get ready for a showdown.
You've been tearing through the AFC North for a number of years. What makes AFC North games so chippy and I don't know, tight? Like it's never a pretty game.
Yeah, never.
AFC North teams, ever.
Yeah, more so we know them. You know what I'm saying? AFC football or AFC North football, we know them very well, and we try to do whatever we can to we know what type of game is going to be going in. It's going to be physical, it's going to be chippy, and you can't feed into, all of the bullshit, I guess you could say. You can't feed into all of that. So as long as we playing our game, we'll be all right, and that's just what it is.
Knowing that they will try to get you guys into situations where there are a lot of penalties created, possibly, how important is it for you guys to stay disciplined in your craft?
Yeah, that's one thing we've been doing that we've been good at all year is, like you say, being disciplined and not playing another team game. So we just got to be smart. We know what's come Sunday, we know how they're going to try to play. But as long as we on our game and playing how we supposed to, executing, doing all the things right, can't be touched. So we'll be all right. Like I said, we just got to come out and execute, and everything else take care of itself.
Big news on the injury front as far as the Bengals are concerned is involving their right guard, Alex Kappa, who went down last week with an ankle injury. I saw him in the locker room this afternoon. He's still on the scooter. He has that ankle wrapped, and it does not look like he will be playing on Sunday night against the Ravens, and that means that Max Sharping will be stepping up for him. He's played in 33 career games, and you know what? Ted Karras said that he has all the confidence in the world in Max Sharping, and he's excited for this opportunity for Max Sharping. And he even explained the difference between a great guard and a subpar guard and how much of a difference that's going to make on Sunday night. Here's Ted.
I think it's been going great. We've had 2 good practices. Today was a high execution day. I think that all the guys came out with great energy. Max is going to, perform his best. I'm really excited for that opportunity for him, and really looking forward to, going into a game together.
How important do you think it was for the Cincinnati Bengals to go out and get Max Sharping as, to add more depth to the offensive line room?
Well, it was great for us. He's a proven starter, 3-year starter, came in as a rookie and started. So tremendous foresight by the front office of this organization to pick up a really quality guard, which is hard to find. There's not a lot of guys in the whole world that can, do that position at a high level. So it was great to have him addition to our team, and obviously it's a big moment for him to step in.
In your opinion, for people who aren't super familiar with how hard the guard position is, what makes a great guard different from an average so-so guard?
Winning one-on-ones. I think, our whole job comes down to winning one-on-ones. So center is a little bit different than guard, being that you don't have as many and there's just less space to work with, where tackle is a very unique position. Then guard, I would say, has, most one-on-ones on the team, So it all comes down to winning your one-on-one matchups, and I think Max is up for the challenge.
Speaking of challenges, will you describe the unique challenge that you guys have ahead of you, knowing that you're facing the same exact team within 2 weeks? It's only happened 17 times since the merger.
I didn't know that stat. That's an interesting stat. I think I've done it once in my career before, but it is an interesting challenge, being that we just prepared for these guys. They just prepared for us. We know each other very well. It's going to comes down to execution, and outlasting your opponent until someone makes a mistake, and hopefully it's them.
It seems like this isn't obviously not a normal opponent. It's an AFC North opponent, and it seems like the AFC North games are never easy, never pretty. It's always kind of a slugfest, it seems like, a little bit chippier than usual. Why do you think that is?
I think there's a lot of good teams, a lot of good coaches in this division, a lot of good players, and kind of the cultures of the cities, rivalry-wise, and multiple different sports. So there's an element of bad blood. We play each other a lot. We know each other well, and we need to go out and win on Sunday night.
Last question for you. Joe Burrow in his news conference yesterday said that Monday night's atmosphere was one of the best he's ever been a part of. Do you expect Sunday night's atmosphere to rival that of, 2 weeks ago, Monday night?
I do. I think it's going to be electric. This city has been unbelievable. The fan base is amazing. So I'm really excited to feel the energy coming out of the stadium and delivering a win for this city.
I think that it's safe to say that this place will be rocking. I think the Cincinnati fans, you guys are absolutely going to show up, be loud, and help the Cincinnati Bengals as they try to win a playoff game in 2022 en route to the Super Bowl. I was also able to speak to Von Bell and Mike Hilton. And usually these guys are being pulled in multiple different directions. They've got phone interviews. They have national news interviews during this small window of locker room time. So one way that I am able to still talk to them and get them on camera without taking up too much of their time is to promise only 2 questions. I am a woman of my word. And I asked Mike Hilton and Von Bell the same 2 questions. And we start with the first question, which is Mark Andrews. Just the factor that he brings, the challenge that he brings to the Cincinnati defense. And the Cincinnati Bengals defense is quite good against tight ends. They're top 5 in the league, but they both describe from their point of views the challenge that Mark Andrews brings. This team as a whole is a top 5 team against tight ends. I think that's really important when you consider that the Ravens offense does seem to run through Mark Andrews. What do you see on film that makes him a bit of a challenge to stop, in your opinion?
Number one, just the way he uses his body. he's a guy that loves running like crossing routes, so he is obviously in the quarterback's vision, so it's an easy throw. He's a big target. He's athletic. He's really one of the best tight ends in all of football, and we know we got to slow them down to really slow down their offense.
I feel like you guys are in a very unique situation, facing a team twice in 2 weeks. It's only happened 17 times since the merger. What is it like for you re-preparing for the team you just faced?
Definitely different, but we're going to expect things we didn't see this past Sunday. So we know it's a division game, a familiar opponent. I don't, like I said, back-to-back is something different, but a lot's on the line, so we'll be excited.
The pass game go through him for sure, watching film. He knows how to uncover when he's covered, makes contested catches, and the quarterback is always trying to find him for sure.
I promised you 2 questions, so this is my second question for you. Will you just describe the unique situation that you guys are in, facing a team twice in 2 weeks?
Very unique, and they're in our division, so we know them, they know us. So at the end of the day, it's about mano y mano and winning your one-on-one matchups.
Mike Hilton and Von Bell will certainly be ready to go on Sunday and ready to give that ball back to Joe Burrow and the offense so that they can hopefully do what Rob Gronkowski said, which was decimate the Ravens defense. I was also able to speak to Trenton Irwin this afternoon, and I found out quite an interesting tidbit about his high school days. I was asking him about the challenge of Roquan Smith. The Ravens acquired Roquan Smith from the Bears in October, and they recently this week signed him to a blockbuster deal for a linebacker, $100 million over 5 years. $45 million of that is guaranteed. And if you look at the stats from last week in his first game against the Cincinnati Bengals as a Raven, he led the team, 16 total tackles, 12 solo, 1 tackle for loss. I mean, he is so disruptive, and he sets the tone for the Ravens defense. And I was asking Trenton Irwin about him, and this is his answer. That was quite interesting. Here he is.
Their defense is, they got a lot of talent out there, a lot of athletes. I think he was a little chippier. He's a tough guy, always trying to finish plays. So, and I actually played with him back in high school in the All-Star game. So,
How was that?
he had a couple pick sixes for us on our team, so he helped a lot. He's a good athlete, good player, but I still think we're gonna get after whoever's out there.
Yeah, you may have heard Trenton Irwin refer to Roquan Smith as a chippier player. I think some might agree that that is right on brand for the Baltimore Ravens, and truly it is on brand for the AFC North as a whole. Anytime you know that these teams within the division are facing off with each other, like the Bengals and the Ravens are on Sunday night, you know it's going to be a chippy game. You know it's going to be a physical matchup. And that's exactly what I expect here on Sunday night. The Bengals have gotten so much better with fan experience, the pageantry of it all. A Sunday night game, they're going to bring out all the stops, I believe. And the fan experience is going to be really fun for those of you who do have a ticket. But I also think that on the field, it's going to be a chippy slugfest type of a game, one that we are certainly used to when watching AFC North football. And still no word yet. We've referenced it earlier in the show. Still no word yet on which quarterback the Ravens will start. Anthony Brown, third stringer. Tyler Huntley, the second stringer. Lamar Jackson is still not practicing. No word yet on whether or not he would even be able to go on Sunday night. But I think there's a lot of question marks surrounding him if he did start. Would you see the A-plus version of Lamar Jackson, or would you see the C-plus version? I mean, in the playoffs, Lamar Jackson is 1-3. He's thrown 3 touchdowns in the playoffs to 5 interceptions. So there's just a lot of question marks surrounding that whole situation. But I can tell you one guarantee. I will be here on Sunday night. James Rapien will be here Sunday night, and we are going to bring you all of the interviews, all of the latest coming from right here in Paycor Stadium. Everything's going to be uploaded right here on this channel. So push that button to subscribe, and you will get the alerts for all of the interviews that we are putting out. And I will see you next week right here on the OT.